Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk About Clutter. I'm your host, Margo, a professional organizer specializing in chronic clutter. And today we're going to talk about how decluttering can save you thousands of dollars a year in hopes of motivating you to finally declutter your home. Did you know that on average, a woman spends up to $1,800 a year on clothing and can spend up to $300,000 on makeup in a lifetime? Add to that beauty and hair products, not to mention pretty bins and containers to organize around the house, and no wonder our credit cards are maxed out. It's never a bad time to save a little money, and decluttering can help you do just that. Growing up, we didn't really have much. It was pretty much essentials only. No one was going hungry, but there were no new backpacks to start the school year or trending sneakers everyone was wearing. We essentially shopped at Payless and ate yogurt every day because back then it was incredibly cheap. And funny story, to this day, I cannot eat yogurt at all. So when I got my first job, I was like a caged animal let loose in the wilderness. I literally would just buy. I became an impulse shopper, addicted to the adrenaline of swiping my credit card, bringing the item home, admiring it for a few, and then essentially forgetting it existed. I don't know. Let me know. Can you relate? At one point, I owned so much clothing that if you offered me $1 million to tell you exactly what was in my closet, I would not be able to. Many of the items still had tags on them. Shoes were never to be worn because they killed my feet. And I bought decor to literally cover every inch of my walls. I accrued a ton of debt. And the rush of buying items no longer appealed to me. Instead, it was replaced with the dread of monthly Amex payments. Now, all of that changed when I decided to finally purge my home. You might not believe this, especially if you're brand new to decluttering, but something very interesting happens when you commit to getting rid of clutter from your space. I've seen this happen again and again and again, both from my own experience and my clients. The truth is, decluttering changes you. It changes your buying habits, and in the long run, it saves you thousands of dollars on items that you just don't need. So I used to spend close to $300 every season on clothing. That's about $1,200 a year. Since I committed to a clutter-free home, and more specifically became a minimalist in my wardrobe, there have been years where at most I spent $200 on clothing for the entire year. According to creditcards.com, the average American spends about $5,400 annually on impulse buys. Imagine how much money you will save curbing your shopping. While I was decluttering, many things went through my mind. Why do I have so many kitchen gadgets? When did I accrue so many bottles of lotions? Why won't my dresser drawers close? To some extent, decluttering will have you come face to face with all the little mistake buys you've made over the past 20 years. And those little mistakes add up. This is why we often will experience buyer's remorse and guilt over our purchases. And those feelings might actually make us want to stop decluttering. I urge you to work through this process and keep purging. Many of us struggle with impulse buys. I know that I did. They elevate our mood, they help us de-stress, make our homes and ourselves feel good. The issue is that most of the items that we buy turn into clutter. The rush we get from buying something at Home Goods is short-lived. And while shopping is one of those habits that is tough to break quickly, as you declutter your home, I promise you, you will gain an appreciation for its cleanliness. You will value the amount of hours you put into purging, dropping off to donation, or even hiring a dump truck to pick up all your stuff. You naturally won't want to find yourself in the same exact situation years down the road. For me, the amount I was able to save, which was thousands of dollars, money in clothing, on appliances. I stopped buying mugs. Why I needed 18 mugs was quite nutty. The artwork, the constant need to purchase the new and shiny. You start choosing to live with less, not necessarily minimalism. You probably know I myself am not a minimalist. The only place I am a minimalist is in my wardrobe, but rather you start asking yourself, would I be okay without this item? Do I really need it? And most often, the answer will be no. This feeling, this transformation is something to be experienced. If you feel like this isn't something you can wrap your head around just yet, give decluttering a try and let me know what happens. The change in your impulse buys is inevitable. Something very common that happens when we have too much stuff is we tend to buy the same item multiple times because we can't find it to begin with. How many times did you purchase a beauty or a hair product, maybe a pantry item or a pair of jeans, only to discover that you had multiples of it already? And by then it was probably too late to return. The next way decluttering can save you thousands of dollars is by having less. You will have a clear inventory of just how much of what you own. When you declutter, it becomes easier to find things and know exactly when and what you are running out of. So you are never buying duplicates. You are no longer frustrated not being able to find an item and then eventually just going on Amazon and purchasing it again. When we have a ton of clutter, we also tend to buy a lot of containers, bins, shelves, storage units to house the clutter. You are trying to organize your clutter, which you probably know by now is a big no-no. Organizing clutter is a waste of your time and it is not sustainable. It essentially looks nice for a day, and the minute you pull an item out, it's back to looking like a hot mess again. Decluttering will save you a ton of money because you will naturally have less, and therefore you won't need to spend a ton of money on pretty home organization items. You might walk the aisles of home goods and admire the mesh bins without actually needing to purchase them, saving you hundreds of dollars per year. On a much bigger scale, next is something I've seen happen with my clients again and again and again. You begin to save a ton of money on storage units. So if you pay for storage space off-site, you know that the monthly fees can quickly add up. A 5x5 storage unit, for example, in New York, costs anywhere from $50 and up. That is about $600 a year. How would it feel to not need the extra storage space anymore? If you own less, the storage unit becomes obsolete. Now, I understand that at times we have them because we temporarily downsized our homes, or maybe a loved one passed and we haven't had a chance to go through their things. But for most of us, we should fit comfortably in the space we live in without the added extension. Think about the last time you actually needed something out of storage. Do you even know what is in there? I urge you to declutter your storage unit in addition to decluttering your home and try to fit what you need in your current living space. Decluttering can also save you money on mental health and healthcare costs. It can help you avoid late fees because you know exactly where your bills are and when they should be paid. It can also save you a ton on moving costs because you only move what you need. I actually recently started working with a client who just moved into her new home, and she realized that she made a huge mistake in not decluttering her previous home before she moved. So she ended up wasting a ton of time and money, right? Packing all the stuff, having movers, only to come to her new space and realize she did not need like 50% of the stuff. So now she has literally put all of these boxes of things that she doesn't need into a spare bedroom. And she is now spending 3 times a week going through a lot of these boxes and these items, getting rid and purging and donating all of the stuff that she should never have taken into her new home to begin with. So don't make that mistake. If you are somebody who is in the process of moving, invest the time and the energy to get rid of stuff right away, and it will save you a ton of money. Also, don't forget that you can make money selling your clutter. And I'm a big fan of, really being selective about what you choose to sell. I know that we want to make a couple of dollars here and there, but unless you're planning to hold a garage sale, and I mean like sometime soon, selling items takes time. And especially if you've accrued a lot of clutter, you want to get the clutter out of your home as quickly as possible. You don't want to kind of relocate it from one room to the other while it's waiting to sell. Now, when it comes to your clothing, just a quick pro tip, there are apps where you can send in the clothing so you get rid of it. Whatever they sell, they sell. Whatever doesn't sell, they will actually donate. But just kind of be mindful about holding on to the clutter in your home. If it's worth selling, maybe it's a nice furniture item or a piece of exercise equipment, that's totally fine. Put it on eBay or whatnot, but really try to eliminate as much clutter from your home and not allow it to kind of sit there. Decluttering your home will really save you thousands of dollars. I actually did calculations, and for 2018, I actually saved $2,450. This included saving money on clothing. This included curbing my impulse buys. And one of the things that I practice was I will actually browse the pretty things on Amazon. I will add them to cart, but I won't actually buy them. One of the other things that I do is, and I've done this for years, is I will actually never go shopping without a shopping list. And if it's not on the list, then I won't buy it. I can comfortably commit to saying that since I decluttered my home, it was around 2015, 2016, I have at a minimum saved $10,000. And we've been able to take the money that we've spent and we started traveling more. We used to go away once a year and we now actually go away twice a year. So imagine what you can do with all of the money you spend. So not only will you reap the benefits of a clutter-free home, which positively impacts your stress levels, your anxiety, your depression if you suffer from it, your physical health, you become more present. There are all of these incredible changes that happen when you achieve peace and are proud of the space that you live in. And then on top of that, you get to save thousands of dollars and the headache of trying to find random items around your home. So I highly encourage you, if you haven't been 100% committed to decluttering your home, I highly encourage you to make this year the year that you purge. And if you need a little help and if you want motivation, support, and accountability, we can always work together. And for more information on what one-on-one coaching looks like with me, you can check out the link in the show notes. As always, thank you so much for listening. Good luck on your decluttering journey. And remember to be good to yourself.